Good morning. I want to introduce myself. I'm Dan Martin from Ohio ASEP. Currently, I'm the program director and the vice chair of education at Ohio State University, but I also am the chairman of our education committee for Ohio ASEP. And today it's truly an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to introduce to you the editor-in-chief of our next edition of the Carol Rivers textbook in emergency medicine, and that's Dr. Amal Mattu. So really, really great to have you here. That edition, by the way, is coming out in January of 24, so just right around the corner. Now, I've known Dr. Mattu for a long time. I know we've both used this text over the years to prepare for our board exams and things like that. But I also want to just tell you a few things. If you don't know about Dr. Mattu, I'm shocked, but I just want to emphasize a few points about him. I hope I don't embarrass him too much, but he's a tenured professor at the University of Maryland. And here's a few bullet points to share about him. He's approaching 30 years of practice in emergency medicine, and nearly all of that time has been really devoted to education, which I am totally honored, because I think I'm of the same view that education is one of the most important things we do. But during that time, he's been a residency program director, he's been a fellowship director, he's been the vice chair of education, now he's the vice chair of academic affairs, just to name a few of the many leadership roles he's had. If you happen to look at his CV, it's pretty soon it's going to be more pages than the Rivers textbook. It's already approaching 150 pages long, with too numerous to count awards and recognitions. And between his peer-reviewed publications and other scholarly works, he's approaching 200 pieces of scholarship. But I got to tell you, my favorite thing about Dr. Mattu is he has delivered so many impactful lectures about so many clinical and non-clinical topics. And those are some of the best lectures I've ever enjoyed. So if you haven't been to these lectures, you really need to. But I got to tell you that perhaps the most important thing about Dr. Mattu is, and this is what I want you to all realize, especially being from Ohio ASEP, is Dr. Mattu was born here just north of Columbus at St. Anne's Hospital. So we're going to claim a little bit of his origin and things like that from Ohio. So, but his contributions to emergency medicine have been just so impactful. So great to have you here. So before we get into some of the questions, any general comments you want to make about this 11th edition that's coming up?
Well, sure. First of all, Dan, thanks so much. That was a really, really generous introduction. I think my mom probably wrote it, so I appreciate you reading it the way she wrote it. Anyway, I'm real excited about this upcoming edition of the Carol Rivers text. It's, as you mentioned, something that we both have used. Many people have used. I used it in my residency. I read through it when I was a second-year resident. I read through it again as a third-year resident, and it made such a huge difference in my ability to work as a resident and then subsequently. And also when I was prepping for my first-time certification and my research, I've consistently used it. So it really is a hallmark text in emergency medicine. And so it's been such an honor to finally be a part of it, because it's given me so much along the way.